Yep.
Okay.
Camera ready?
Yep.
Check. Alright, guys, we are Group 7 and we have made a presentation about communication. The first thing I want to show you is this circle. You probably don't get what it is, but this is a nervousness scale. It shows you how nervous you are doing a presentation, because it's very important to be clear, and if you're nervous, you cannot be clear and you cannot be sure that your message will go through to the receiver. So what you see here is a scale. So let me just try it. You point with this red dot, and if you can't keep it there, ooh, you're a little bit nervous. So I'm right between shake it off and I'm about to cry. So I will just take a big breath before moving on. Now we are already using this red dot, so I would like to play a game with you. You probably already know it from these cats here. They're following on the red dot. I want you to do the same. And then something kind of truly amazing will happen. So you see the red dot here. You should just follow it with your head. So I expect you to follow it. And then I will just ask you some questions and you should keep following it. So, do we all like the prizes in the canteen? No.
Yes.
And do you like this presentation so far? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. This is just basic communication. We just agreed upon two things. And I mean, I got it on tape. But let's go to the theory. Where communication is all about words. Words that is formed by the human voice. An instrument we kind of all play. Voice is probably the most powerful sound in the world. I mean, it can start wars, and it can start relationships just by saying I love you. You can hear ammo. I also have a hard time saying that. And even though we talk about this as being very powerful, a lot of people have the experience that people don't listen when they speak, or they don't get the message. So why is that? Let's take the sender here. Communication is important. It doesn't matter if it is internal or external in a company, if it is B2B or B2C, or just between two people. So this sender here wants to give a message to this receiver. A question could be, I need a communication model for my new shop. But there could be some kind of interference between these two people here, because he is not clear, or maybe he is not listening. So this guy is trying to say, I want a communication model for my company, so I can communicate in an effective way. But this guy understanding is, he wants a communication model for his company. So like, he wants a communication model in front of his store. But I think these guys here would like to elaborate a little bit on how to communicate effectively.
So this is the SMCR model. It's from the 60s. It's a very simple, very basic communication model. One way, it consists of 4 parts. First, the source, which is the person that wants to communicate something, knowledge, information typically. This person encodes this into a message, and by encoding it's the body language, it's the voice, it's the choice of words that are put into this. And this goes further on to the channel, where it's delivered through this to the receiver, which are you right now. And we are the source of the communication, and we have encoded our message for you into slides, into words, into actions.
So then next we have the Shannon-Weaver model, and like the Shannon-Weaver model, it's very much like the SMCR model. This model is actually a lot older than the SMCR model, though it is a lot more detailed, because it creates a link which shows feedback from the receiver to the sender. Next. So the sender is the initiator, which is also known as a source. So the initiator who initiates the plan, who initiates the model. He has a specific reason for starting the communication process, and through this it is then encoded. It is encoded, sent to the encoder, and the encoder takes the source concept and he will simply interpret it for the receiver to receive. The message, which is simply information which goes from one end to another, from the sender to the receiver. This message travels through a route, which is known as a channel, These roots can find them in everyday lives. For example, as CBA students, we know like communicating with lecturers and teachers, we communicate through front end. And when there's a glitch in the system, then communication breaks down. So, yeah.
Yeah, the noise path is very important when sending and receiving a message. It can actually be able to change the initial message. If you misunderstand a message, it could be due to the noises that your brain captures while listening. There are 4 kinds of noises that are relevant. Those are physical noises, psychological noises, and physiological noises, and semantic noises. Physical noises, that will be something that you can hear while maybe a group are presenting something, and physiological noises is something that you can. That's something that your brain does while wandering off and having some other thoughts. And psychological noises can be mental issues that interfere with communication. And semantic noises is, for example, if the vocabulary is beyond the receiver's knowledge. And decoder messages are to be decoded to a specific target group. If we were to present to you a presentation that we borrowed from someone else, we would decode it to the project that we're doing, so you would actually understand what we're saying. And I think we did that pretty well. And the receiver, for the project that we have prepared for you today, we will need a receiver. You are actually the receiver of this presentation. And feedback allows the sender to find out whether the message was received. We would also like some feedback after we're done, because we would like to know what we could do better. But since we did a pretty amazing job, we don't really expect some feedback as we're done now. So we would like to just get a clap and just walk out.
Well, thank you guys. I really like your presentation and the start, and this is a circle, and what is that? And so you did some very good things in planning your presentation. And in that respect, maybe I should go directly to Lasse and say, I mean, you got all the fun stuff. So you were helped by being able to play with the red dot and stuff like that. But having said that, I still think that you were cool with it. I mean, some people could get even more nervous because they had to do things like that. But you were cool with it, and I think that you were alive. You were lively, and you were not sort of standing in one spot, but moving around and being present. At times, I think maybe you could get even more powerful, and it has to do with voice again, to sort of emphasize things more. But as I said, you were helped by having most of the fun. So it was well planned, and the timing was really, really good. So you should absolutely get praise for that. Sophia, I think you seem confident, but a little stiff. And then confidence is, I can be deceived maybe by you putting on your presenting ego, and it's very good to have that, because you actually did seem confident, but you could also be a little more alive. At times you were looking at the screen a lot and things like that, but at the same time I was never in doubt that you knew what you were talking about. So you had that confidence with you somehow. And you may have been turmoil inside, but at least I couldn't see it. Teresa, you were hiding a little in the corner. So being a little more outgoing, I think maybe would help you. But it could be because you needed to look at the screen that you sort of preferred to stand there. And that's a shame, because I think you, it made you a little stiff, and you sort of look defensive when you're standing in there. So I mean, maybe it has to do with preparation, maybe it has to do with I don't know what, but trying to free yourself a little of the helpers, the two screens that you have, could have been a good idea. But you looked up and you sought contact with the group, but you could have done much more. Yeah. And Bilal, a little hesitant, and that's a shame. Now I'm doing it, of course. You also looked a little at the screens, a little the same thing, being a little stiff, maybe because you needed your crutches. Yeah. But I think actually you would have the ability to walk out in the room much more, because your face is so alive. Yeah. And you should use that much more.
I actually had my nose on my cell phone that she was using to record it, so I was like, no. I have to use my laptop now. So.
Yeah, but you didn't use that one that much, but you also looked at the screen up there. So what I'm trying to tell you is, whenever, it doesn't matter if it's a phone or what it is, but you do have crutches. But the fact that your face is so alive, I mean, you should use that more, because you have very good mimic. And when you watch the video, think about that. Okay. So, yeah.
Thank you.
So